Hello friends, it's Kelly Pullum here, also known as Craftin' Granny. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! In Canada, and I'm coming to you tonight from my craft room in Brantford, Ontario. It's a beautiful evening here, and unfortunately the sun is setting outside my window, leaving a bit of glare on my face here, so I apologize for that, but I can't do much about the timing of the sun setting. And I don't have curtains on my windows here because I love to have all the light come in. Anyway, I'm enjoying the evening. It's been beautifully mild here today. I've been listening to the birds chirp outside my window as I've been waiting here to start, and I even have the window open. That's how beautiful it is outside this evening. Hi Nancy, welcome. Thanks for joining me. Tonight I'm going to be sharing a card with you using the Heron Habitat bundle. And I'm really wishing I had started with this bundle months ago because it is it's a beautiful bundle from the annual catalog, and I chose to pair it with the By the Bay Designer Series paper from the mini catalog, which retires in April. Now the Heron Habitat bundle is also retiring from the annual catalog. I checked just before the video tonight. The stamp set is still available, but it looks as though the dies are sold out already, which is unfortunate. At any rate, that's the bad news. The good news is the By the Bay Designer Series paper is actually on sale. So that is the positive. So if you see some things that you like tonight, I hope you'll come back and join me in the next couple weeks, because from now until the end of April, I'm going to be featuring these same products in my videos. And for those who've placed an order of $100 or more last month, they'll be receiving a set of kits to make these cards. So that's always a fun perk for my customers. Okay, things that I need to mention. There is a crop coming up in Brantford, April 16th at Friendship House. It's being put on by two of my downline, Nancy Ross and Tiffany Weber. And if you wish to register for that, let me know. The cost is $10 and I'll be sure that they get your name. All right, now I'm going to switch over to the desktop view here so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, that is better. So this is the stamp set that I'm using tonight, and I have to tell you, I had a sad thing happen. I am missing one of my stamps. It was here. I was using it in the craft room yesterday. It got lost, and I cannot find my thank you. So I am pretty sad about that. But I'm just going to have to work with some other stamps there in the interim. Anyway, I do want to show you this Designer Series paper. It is a 6x6 Designer Series paper, and it has all these beautiful blues and greens, little bit of petal pink in there, some Night of Navy, and it matches the By the Bay stamp set that is still available. And so this image with the crab is in the stamp set, the pearl is in the stamp set, but I chose the Heron Habitat just because I really liked the images from that. And then on the back of the paper, this is a specialty paper, so there are all these papers with shimmer, which are just so fun to use. So I just wanted to just give you a flash of that paper because that might be something that you'd like to pick up in the last chance items that are on sale. I also wanted to mention that it would work well with the Friends Are Like Seashells, which is another bundle. I think this is still in the annual catalog, but will be retiring at the end of April. And then if you happen to have, this is a product I had from previously, the By the Dock dies. I'm thinking this would work really well with this product as well. Then I pulled out the Paradise Palms because it also has some grassy, what would you say? Flora, I guess. Some grassy flora that could go at the bottom and some stamps that would work with it. And one of the cards that I'm going to do this month will be using the Oceanfront stamp set. which also has some great images to work with this. So Stampin' Up! Has done a really wonderful job of providing us with all kinds of products that coordinate together, and I just love that. So I'm going to use tonight this Stripes embossing folder. It comes in a pair of two, the Stripes and Splatters embossing folder. And I am not using tonight these dies, but I did want to pull them out. These are the dies that go with the Heron Habitat. As I said, I'm afraid the Heron dies have sold out. I'm also using the Scalloped Contours Dies, and these have been extremely popular, and they are still going to be in the annual catalog. If you haven't got these, this is something I highly recommend. Okay, so let's pull out the pieces for my card. And I did mention in my description here, the card I'm making tonight, I cased from Paula Barin. She had done an adorable owl reverse easel card. So that's the type of fun fold I'm doing tonight. And here are my dies, which I pre-cut using the Scalloped Contour dies. And I have some soft seafoam cardstock, which I embossed using the Stripes embossing folder. I'm not going to list all the measurements tonight, but I will be sure to put those on my blog this week. I've been bad lately about posting on my blog, and it is because we are preparing to move, and I apologize for that, but I will make a very diligent effort to get that posted fairly promptly this week. Hopefully on Thursday, because I don't have to go out Thursday, and my husband's taking the car, which means I will be staying home. So hopefully on Thursday I can get that blog posted for you and have that ready to go so that you can get the measurements from this card, because there are a lot of measurements that are kind of close, and anyway, and I have another appointment later tonight, so I don't want to be too late here with my video. So here we go. So I've started with a piece of basic white thick cardstock. I've scored it like you would a Z-fold, just as if it was a standard Z-fold, except that I'm going to put the folded part at the top for this, okay? And we are going to put some Pool Party cardstock at the top, and we're going to put some of this designer series paper here at the top. So I'm just going to start with that. I hope that you love these colors in this card as much as I did. I'm going to show you some variations, so stick around till the end of the video, because I'm going to show you some other variations that I did with this card as I was playing around in the past couple days. I did one with a different designer series paper using some Night of Navy, and I did another one that is just a little bit different using the same designer series paper I'm using tonight, but with a few variations, which I'll show you. Yes, they are beautiful colors, aren't they, Nancy? Okay, so here we go. So I've just layered this cardstock and designer series paper here to start with. Now I have two pieces of this soft seafoam, and one is going to go, all my stripes are going horizontally because we're following this pattern here. So I have one piece of Pool Party cardstock that's going to mat underneath here. And then I have this, which is going to go inside here. Actually, I've got to get this right. The Pool Party's going underneath. Then the soft seafoam on top. And then this white, I'm just going to tuck up here. And I probably could have left this off, but for me it just seemed to make the card look a little more finished, so I'm going to put that in there. Okay, so I'm just going to layer these all up here. Now I did want to show you a trick about this Stripes embossing folder. even though I went ahead and did the embossing ahead, I wanted to be sure to mention that when you use that embossing folder, now I have to find it, here it is. So I wanted the stripes to go horizontally, but my paper was a little too large. But I will say this is really forgiving. So I was able to put my cardstock in here, run it through the embossing folder once, then put the cardstock in a second time on the other side and run it through. And you really can't tell, like it's not a significant thing where I've overlapped. I guess if I look hard enough I can see it, but it's not going to take away from the design of the card, so that's a good thing. Okay, so here we go. We're going to add this as well. And this is going to go just 1/8 of an inch from the bottom and the sides. And then this one is just going to butt up against that pool party, and it'll have 1/8 of an inch border as well. Now the next part, I'm going to put this soft sea foam on top of this pool party piece. There we go. And now comes the fun part, the stamping. So I'm going to set these pieces aside for the moment and pull these in. So I am going to stamp. First of all, I have You're in My Thoughts Today, and I have the Heron, which are going on this piece. And I have I'm So Thankful for You, which is going on this piece. So I'm going to do my sentiments in the pool party. So I've got this one. Going on here. There we are. Then I've got my Heron, which is going to be done in Sahara sand. And I think it's going to be easier if I do the Heron first and then add my sentiment here. Oops. I'm losing a cord here. I've got to tuck that in again, so hopefully it's not going to hit me. There we are. So I'm going to do this so that the tail feathers of my Heron are just up against that stripe there, and that the Heron is fairly high up on my die cut piece here. There we go, lovely. And now I can take You're in My Thoughts Today, and that is going to fit right, oopsie, I just about did it, didn't I? That's going right in here. There we go. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. I'm going to bring in two of my Stampin' Blends. So I have my Soft Seafoam Dark and my Pool Party Light. And I'm just going to use those to add a little bit here. So I'm going to add a little bit of kind of something to ground my hair in here. And then I'm going to use my Soft Seafoam Dark, and I'm just going to add some grass here. So I'm just doing this by hand. Okay. And I'm just going to add that in that way. I decided to do that because the stamp that went with the set was just a little too large for my purposes here, and I didn't want to have it you know, kind of coming off the bottom or anything. So I decided this way I can get it all in there the way I want, and it will still work beautifully. So now I'm going to take this, and it's going to be applied on here, and I think I'm going to pop this up with some dimensionals. Thought I had my larger dimensionals out. Let's just see if I can find them. They're all my small ones here, so I guess I'll just use those. I'll just tear some off of here. Use the outside edge, will be fine. Okay. Oh, I just about did. No, this is right. This is right. I'm thinking, oh dear, because I'm only adhering half of it, but that's the other piece. And I'll show you in a minute. I thought I got too carried away here. Here we go. So this is going on here. And then this is going on the front. But now you can see where I'm only going to put adhesive on the upper part of my my paper here. So I'm just going to kind of mark that with my thumb so I know I'm staying up at this part here. My dog is circling around, and if I've had any kind of snacks out in the craft room here today, she's finding them here. She's just kind of sniffing around as if to say, "What you got, Mom?" She's become worse and worse about wanting her snacks and treats. Okay, so here we go. So this is now going on the front, like so. Just centered there. Okay, and then the last piece is this one, and it's going to go in here. And I just need my pokey tool, which seems to be missing. Maybe this will do. I got my little there. So this is going to go down here. And then the card just stands up nicely, like so. So here we are. Trying to show you so you can see a little bit better. Yes, that does show a little bit better. So that is the card for tonight. And I love that there is room here for a message, but if it stands, it tells the whole story, doesn't it? Because it's got, "You're in my thoughts today, I'm so thankful for you." Now, I've done the same theme. This one was a little bit simpler. For this one, I did not do the embossing. The idea for that actually came after I had finished this card. I did add the faux sea glass shapes on this one, and I did use this die and this die from the Heron Habitat dies, so that is slightly different. And of course I don't have the pool party mats under here, but I wanted to show how you can get different variations. So this one, I don't know, it's just kind of a more clean and simple card, if you will. And then I have another one that is completely different in colors. For this one, I used a different piece. I used the plank type of designer series paper. I've used Sahara Sand and Night of Navy cardstock. I embossed with the Timber Embossing Folder. I did my stamping in Night of Navy, and I colored with a little bit of the Sahara Sand and Mango Melody Stampin' Write markers, and a little bit of Gray Granite Stampin' Blend markers to color my heron in there. But anyway, I have to say, I was really tickled pink with these cards. I think they turned out beautifully, and they make such a good display on someone's mantle when you give them that gift. So anyway, I hope you liked them, and I hope you'll join me next Tuesday at 7:30 for another card using the Heron Habitat bundle and the By the Sea Designer Series paper. If you would like to place an order, the host code is in the description of this video, so check that out, and I'll look forward to seeing you again next week. Good night.